Well, hello there. Welcome back to Waters Family Homestead. I turned around so y'all could see me. My screen was so dark I couldn't see me. But I'm gonna flip y'all back around to the other side and let you see what I'm gonna talk about for a minute. These are the second set of chickens that I hatched. There's 6 of them. The first 7 I put in the middle pen with Sonny and his ladies. And I know there's about 3 roosters at least in there, but they are getting big. It won't be long, probably another week or 2, and they'll go in with the adult chickens in the middle pen as well. But maybe longer. These are still a little bit more skittish than the first 7. So if I go in there, they go to running to get out. But they have been roosting for a couple of weeks and have not been using the light. So when they stop using the light for heat, I unplug it. There's no need to run that thing until, till the next batch comes out. All right, let's go in here to the middle pen. Now, I've already filled all 3 feeders and given them scratch, but they mix in when they're eating the scratch and all that. But look, all 7 of them laying over here on the ground by the gate, by the back gate. They're beautiful. And I'm pretty sure there's 3 roosters mixed in with those 7. That's when I tried to sex them after they hatched. That's what it looked like to me. So they're a little too young to tell for sure, but if I did the sexting part right, there's 3 roosters mixed in with those 7, but that's all right. They taste good fried, I'm just saying. So I've been picking my blueberries every day. I've been gathering eggs every day, but I wanted to show y'all something else. I did not expect this. See, I have filled their feeders. Now I know I told y'all that I had a black sex link that was setting. So I didn't mess with her for 2 days, and then I came out, because she barely gets up to eat and drink. But I came out and moved her and checked the eggs up under her. She's sitting on 7 eggs, guys. And yesterday when I got home, one of those 7 was over here. So I put it back up under her. I don't know that all 7 are going to survive, because she's not, so far, hasn't been the best hen to set. She does, when I move her, she gets back on them. And she hadn't been getting nest confused. This side over here had about 8 eggs in it today, and this side had 4. So 7 or 8, and then 4. So it is very possible that all 7 of those eggs will hatch, but that depends on if they're fertile, and it also depends on whether she's been a good enough mama to keep them up under her and keep them warm. And honestly, I know one of them got moved out from under her. So there's a couple times I went out there, 1 or 2 of them was out the back side because she faces in for whatever reason. And they may not hatch because of, her not keeping them under her like she should. But it's her first time incubating eggs too. So I just wanted to show y'all that. So I wanted to show y'all one more thing. I'm gonna walk over to the garden and I'll talk about it when I get there. Hang on a second. All right, so in the mail today, I got 3 packages. 2 of them I knew were coming because I ordered them. 1 of them I didn't, but that's fine. Thank y'all very much. The person that's in it don't want to be called out, but thank you very much. So one of the things I got in the mail today was another soil meter. And this meter reads the temperature of the soil, reads the nitrogen level in the soil, the phosphorus level in the soil, and the potassium level in the soil. So first thing I did was walk around and check my tomato plants. I'm switching arms, so I have to turn y'all a little bit. So the first thing I did was walk around and check my tomato plants for any more hornworm damage, and I didn't see any hornworms. And I brought out some more clips and clipped the ones that needed it up a little bit higher. So the second thing I did was walk around and just look at the beds. So since I did that last video, I've learned that strawberries, some types of strawberries can take several weeks to germinate and sprout. And the one type that they say is faster than the rest is the alpine strawberry, which is what I planted. And I brought my Fiskar scissors out and was going to prune, but I decided I'd wait another day. It's been a rough week so far. My boss is having some medical issues, and y'all, if I know you don't know him, but if you pray, please pray for him. But either way, I've been trying to take as much off of him as I can, and he's been putting more and more on me at work. And it's not a gradual, do this, and then 3 or 4 days, a week later, add this to me. And no, it's daily adding more and more stuff to me. And his wife used to do all the books. And I have taken over about, I don't know, 80 to 90% of that. Plus, I'm ordering on some of the companies we deal with. And that and waiting on customers all day long. And I try my best to make sure that if there's a customer walks in that door, I'm helping them. And if one of the other guys is waiting on a customer, I try my best to, if I'm not busy, to help them take care of that customer. So whether I made the ticket or not, most of the people that come in our store warehouse, I try to get involved with and take care of. That's what he hired me for. So that's what I try to do. I hate to sit still anyway. So I try to take as much off of the owner, Daryl, as I can. He is a fantastic guy. He is 68 years old. He's 10 years older than I am. He's had the business for sale for about 3 years, had several people interested, and some of them just couldn't get the financing, and others just couldn't work out the deal, the way they wanted it. But the last 2 that came in, I hope they buy it. But it's nothing to do with me. I'm just trying to be there for Daryl and do what I told him I'd do. But either way, the last few weeks at work have been really, really tough on me mentally and physically. So you'll see I didn't make as many videos this week. I haven't done as many shorts. To be honest, there was a couple of days I was just so doggone drained and tired. It wasn't going to happen. And if I can't be upbeat and happy for you guys, I'm not going to make a video. So, but if you pray for Mr. Daryl. He needs the prayers right now. So, but anyway, the tomato plants look really, really good. Let me flip around here and stand by one. How about that? The tomato plants look good. Now, we did not get any rain today. Yesterday, we got about a tenth of an inch. We had a good hard shower for just 10 minutes or so, and came out with about a tenth of an inch, which isn't not enough, but considering I had a bunch several days before, the soil's been very, very wet. The raised beds dry out faster than in the ground, but it's still been very wet, so I haven't had to water. And I'm not going to water today, although a couple of places I checked could use a little bit. It's not going to hurt them for it to dry out a little bit more, because I've still got mushrooms growing around the edge of the beds and in the beds in some cases. So let me flip y'all around and show y'all the squash right here. 4 squash plants and 3 zucchini plants. So I do need to prune those back some more. But to me, they look pretty good. And I know I'm moving y'all around a lot, but let me show y'all what I'm wanting to show you. Look at that. I've got squash growing on that little plant. And I've had blooms, but most of them have been male blooms. But there's a female right there, and I hope it got pollinated. But that actually was not. Let me pull that piece of grass up under there. It's too close to my plant. Hey, if I get on the ground, I'm gonna pull weeds if they're around me. But see the mushrooms growing out from under these beds have been too wet. I mean, we had over 5 inches of rain in about a 4-day period, so. But there's a few things I did want to show y'all. I took that new soil meter that measures nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus, I think, if I'm saying that right, and checked all the soils in all these beds. Now, I read the book that came with it, and it says to check multiple places in each bed and then take those numbers and average them to get a more accurate reading, because one spot may be different than the next and so on, and one may be extremely high or extremely low. But your average, if you get one that's really crazy, just throw it away and average the rest. So I was really curious about this bed right here, because this is the one I've had trouble growing anything in this year. So you remember we planted green beans and something else in here that didn't make it. So I replanted 2 cucumber plants and 2 green beans. And since, as y'all can see, I've planted more green beans and they have come up and doing great. I added fertilizer to this soil, 10-10-10. So I've got 11 cherry tomato plants that have come up in this bed, and a bunch of the dill is starting to come up, and you see that basil is coming on up pretty good. It's about 5 inches tall. Let me see. I didn't plant dill over here. I planted basil. So that basil, and then all this basil in the little row over here. So that's supposed to help keep some pest away. But guys, what I learned with that meter is that my homemade compost from my chicken pens waste and all of that is a much better soil than the store-bought stuff that I've been buying. So this here is Miracle-Gro soil and a little bit of black cow mixed in. This bed right here is nothing but black cow and then just the regular old generic soil. All compost now, all compost. These beds with the store-bought soil in it, the nitrogen level was reading in the single digits. And matter of fact, the phosphorus and potassium were reading in the single digits in several of them. So, because I mixed my homemade, homegrown chicken waste compost in with the store-bought soil, and some I did not. So, these soil beds have really, they need fertilization bad. Well, the thing is, I've already planted strawberries over here, and none of them have come up yet that I've seen. Now, if they have, some of them, that looks like a weed to me. So there may be 1 or 2 that's come up that I just don't know is a strawberry yet. And a viewer suggested that I mark those things from now on with the little bed markers, and it's a good idea. I just didn't think about marking it like that when I planted them. So there's a bunch in these beds. I'm thinking about turning this soil, adding a lot of 10-10-10, I mean a lot, to this bed, and like I put maybe 1 1/4 scoops of my, let me show y'all. I put 1 full scoop of this in there, this garden spade, little shovel, and then about 1/4 more up to 1/2, and mixed it in before I replanted. So that's helped the beds tremendously. But the numbers that I was getting on that meter, holy smokes. No wonder these plants are growing small. No wonder they're sprouting, but they're not really taking off. Like these cherry tomatoes right here. And these cherry tomatoes right here. They've been sprouted for over a week. This bed only had 2 or 3 that sprouted. That bed had 11 that sprouted. But they just aren't taking off like I expected them to. And with the nitrogen levels in the single digits and the phosphorus and the potassium really, really low, like in the 30s or lower, now I know why. I need to build this soil up. You cannot have healthy plants without healthy soil. So that meter is going to be a game changer. And I checked it over here by the cantaloupe. Now this is some of my homemade compost. It's all my homemade compost, no store-bought mixed in with it. It read a lot better than the store-bought stuff, but it's still low in nitrogen, and it's still low on a couple of the other numbers. So, I mean, I ain't saying that I have to come over and turn this one and fertilize it, but I definitely will before I plant it in again. Guys, I've told y'all, I'm learning daily. Now, I try to answer every comment on a video. Sometimes, be honest with you, YouTube doesn't give me a notification that there was a comment, especially if the video's been posted a while. I may not even get a notification that there's a comment. And then, you know, one day randomly, I'm sitting in there on the computer scrolling through my YouTube page and looking, and there's unanswered comments. So I might answer that person 3 or 4 months after they commented. But for the most part, I try to answer. Let me flip this back a little bit. I try to answer every comment, but I'm learning. I'm learning every single day. I'm pruning, trying to grow these zucchini and squash up instead of out. I'm learning that my soil, even though it's brand new, that middle bed right there is the newest bed out here, is all black cow and that's compost, and then the other generic composted. That's all that's in there. I didn't add anything else to it. That soil nutrient level is pitiful. It is absolutely pitiful. So I'm going to take a second and show y'all something that I'm going to be adding to all of my beds. So I'm going to pause you for a second and I'll bring you back. All right, guys. Got to be honest. Y'all know I try to do things in one take. I came over here to show y'all what I had in these storage boxes inside this mini greenhouse. I've got some perlite, some vermiculite, and a couple other things that I've purchased, and I'm going to have to buy a lot more, but I plan on mixing that in my beds. So I paused it to come over and show y'all, and then forgot to unpause it, and I'm talking to the camera 5 minutes later, and the camera shuts off if you don't have it active. Well, it shut off, and I'm like, what? I forgot to unpause it. I'm telling y'all, when I was talking about work, being stressed and working myself much harder than I probably should, I need to back up a little bit and let those new guys, not new guys, but young guys, do more of the physical work and do more of the paperwork and ordering and stuff. But either way, it's hard for me to do that. But anywho, I was talking to y'all about this meter that I've got. Y'all, the soil that is store-bought black cow compost. It ain't compost. I guarantee you there ain't no cow poo in that thing. This soil registers pitiful. I could take dirt out of my yard, hide the dirt road, and have more nutrients in it than what this store-bought stuff's got in it. It just don't make no sense for it to be that pitiful. So I'm going to have to, every time a bed gets empty or something and I redo that bed, I'm going to have to add vermiculite, perlite. I want some of that coconut hair stuff that I haven't been able to find locally. I may have to order it online to mix in and make my soil much lighter and fluffier, drain well, yet hold moisture. And there's a lot I've got to do to this soil, and I'm gonna have to dump a ton of fertilizer in here to build these beds up to where they need to be, especially the store-bought soils. So I'm learning every day, every single day. Listen, I read every one of y'all's comments. I try to get more information if y'all lead me in a certain direction, but sometimes I just don't have the time to do what I really would like to do. I wish I could just make videos and work in this garden and turn it into the perfect raised bed garden for everybody to watch and learn from, and that'd be fantastic, but that's just not, it's not practical for me right now. In a couple of years, maybe when I retire, retire again, for those that know me. When I retire again, there's going to be a lot more time spent out here in the garden. By that time, these garden raised beds are going to be, I'm going to have more of them and much better soil conditions than what I got. You cannot grow good vegetables without good soil, period. And some of y'all have told me that, and I understand that. I'm not going to debate it with anybody, but I do understand that's what's got to happen. This meter just proved a point. Guys, you're out there buying Black Cow compost and the other cheaper compost, like I did from Lowe's, and the Miracle Grow soil and stuff. This stuff ain't got crap in it for nutrients. Straight out of the bag, you better be adding some nutrients to those soils and mixing it in well, watering it in well, getting that soil ready for planting. I don't care if it just came out of the store. It's supposed to be good. I'm telling you, get one of these meters. I'll show you in a later video, but get one of these meters that registers nitrogen and phosphorus and potassium, and you'll see some of this store-bought stuff is reading single digits, and it should be way up in the double digits or even in the triple digits sometimes. I'm so disappointed in that store-bought stuff, and I've spent a lot of money on it. But I've got a long ways to go. My homemade compost is 10 times better than the store-bought mess. So anyway, I wanted to tell y'all, I don't hide nothing. I tell y'all the good, the bad, and the ugly. And just to be completely honest, I should have got one of those meters a lot sooner, but I didn't. And my tomato plants, the bigger ones, are finally starting to look pretty good. I've got one with a couple tomatoes on it, one with one on it, and these over here's got blooms. So pepper plants, let me flip around and show y'all. Pepper plants are, 3 inches tall. That's probably 2.5. That one's probably 3. That one over there's 3. I hope they take off and grow, but I did add 10-10-10 fertilizer to every bed out here, just a little bit, and to every grow bag out here. I may have to go back and add a little bit more, or sprinkle it on the top and water it in, because this soil is not what it needs to be for me to have a great garden. Now, I got lucky the first year, and I got lucky earlier this year. Y'all look at this. Just laid out in the grass. I'm surprised that little kitten that looks just like him ain't out here with him, but I'm walking around. So as long as I'm out here, he ain't gonna come out. But But either way, this soil that's store-bought, guys, it does not have the nutrients in it that you need to grow food. I wish it did, but I'm just being honest with you. You go to these big box stores and buy this stuff, it ain't worth a toot. And that's on a good day. you're going to have to beef this stuff up. You're going to have to add vermiculite. You're going to have to add perlite. You're going to have to add some of that coconut hair stuff. You're going to have to add, I've got peat moss that I plan on adding. You're going to have to add all, and none of that stuff's add nutrients. That's just making your soil lighter and fluffier so it doesn't pack down hard. You're going to have to add a lot of fertilizer to that store-bought stuff. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So if you're watching my videos, trying to learn a little bit about gardening, guys, number one thing, and I know I've been told this by viewers, if your soil is good, your plants will be great. Build your soil up, add your nutrients to it, get it where it needs to be, and you'll have a successful garden. If you say, okay, it's brand new, nothing's been planted in it, I just bought this stuff from Home Depot or Lowe's or Walmart or from the, local place in town, I don't care. Check it and add the nutrients you need to your soil before you put the first seed in the ground. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time, and I've wasted a lot of time to learn that. So I just wanted to tell y'all, thank you very much for supporting my channel, watching my videos, hitting thumbs up, subscribing. Whew, I can't get any light on me. The sun's back behind the trees. But I appreciate each and every one of you more than I could ever express in words. So thank y'all very much. Remember what I've always told you. Jesus Christ loves you, and so do I. Y'all be safe. Be prepared. Grow some food, but build that soil up first. The food will come after. I promise you. Y'all be good.